It's officially spring, even though the weather here in the UK is still quite cold, but it's beginning to look a bit like spring. The sun is out, the flowers are out as well, you know, the early spring flowers. And that's why I decided to bring you this video with my early spring fragrances suggestions. But before I get into that, I'd like you to welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time, a very warm welcome. And without much further ado, let's get into the first fragrance. So these are early spring fragrances, and they're just my suggestions. Obviously, it's what I would be wearing and I'd like to wear. They're just my suggestions. Cool, so let's start with the first one. And I would start with Frederic Malle, Portrait of a Lady. And this is a rose, amber, musky, and kind of I think there's some spiciness in here as well. I've smelled some spiciness. So it's this rosy spiciness, ambery fragrance that it's really nice. Kind of reminds me of spring for some reason, and it's just really beautiful with, you know, kind of warm, and it's I think it's really amazing. And what I like about it is also very strong. So you only need one spray in the back of your neck and I think you're good to go. It does project quite a lot, it does last a long time, and even though the name is Portrait of a Lady, I think this is completely unisex and men can definitely pull this one off. It's Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. By the way, this list is not in any particular order, they're just my suggestions for this time of year. My next one is Gris Charnel by BDK. This is just the original EDP. And what I like about this one is it's got this very strong fig note, which to me it smells slightly like tropical, kind of coconut. But it's got this warmth to it as well, the fragrance and spiciness that makes it really wonderful for this time of the year. It's not super loud, which in a way I quite like it. I just think it's really nice for this time of year. So it's kind of slightly tropical, coconutty kind of smell in the air, and it's warm, spicy. It's just wonderful, and I think it's really perfect for this time. Is Gris Charnel by BDK. Again, another unisex, leaning slightly feminine fragrance, but I think anyone could pull this off. It's Gris Charnel by BDK. Next one is a male targeted one, and that's by Zara, but again I think this is completely unisex as well, and that's called Full Moon Over the Desert. This is a brand new line that Zara just released, and the perfumer is Jordi Fernandez, who is one of my favorite perfumers, really. And this is just really beautiful. You start with this kind of fresh aromatic green fragrance, but then it goes has this sweetness to it from the caramel note, and they also have this vanilla note in here, which they're using again. They used in another fragrance from Zara called Red, I think it's for Men Red Edition or something like that, which is very sweet, but this one isn't as sweet. This is just kind of aromatic, it's nutty, and it's got a slight sweetness from the caramel. Really wonderful. I just like the kind of how this is blend so nicely, you know, warmth notes with fresh ones. Is just really wonderful. I really like it. It's Full Moon Over the Desert by Zara. Next one is one of my all-time favorites, and that's Green Lover by Lolita Lempicka. And I describe this fragrance as like a nice gin and tonic, a refreshing gin and tonic poured over some vanilla ice cream, and that's what you get with this. You just get this kind of fresh and warm at the same time, because it's got this vanilla note. So this is basically a vanilla fragrance, but a fresh one. So it's, as I said, this gin and tonic poured over vanilla ice cream, and that's what you get with this. It's Lolita Lempicka Green Lover, totally unisex as well. Next one, it's Scandale by Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is a very interesting one because when I first smelled this in the shop, I thought, oh, generic. But then I smelled this in this in the air, and this is just amazing. In the air, this fragrance smells incredible. So it's a mixture of, again, kind of this aromatic, fresh, metallic almost, but then you get the warmth of the caramel. There's got a caramel note in here that makes it really kind of warm, slightly sweet as well. And I kind of get this incensey smell as well. I don't know, but in the air, this thing just smells amazing with kind of slightly warmth and creamy. It's just beautiful. This in the air, it's fantastic. Is worth a try. Don't judge it by the opening of the fragrance. Let it settle and smell it in the air. It's just amazing. It's Scandale by Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is the Eau de Toilette version. Again, I think this is targeted towards men, but I think it's totally unisex. Anyone can wear this. Next one, it's Tero by Nishane. Another very interesting one, mixture of aromatic greens, fresh, together with a caramel note again. That very different to Scandale by Jean Paul Gaultier, but I mean, even though it's kind of, he's got that caramel, but it's a very different one. This is just beautiful. I love this. Super long lasting, projects really well as well, and is totally unisex in my opinion. That's Tero by Nishane, and I think it's perfect for this time of year, early spring. Yeah, Tero by Nishane. Next one, I have one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and this is kind of a warm one. I would say you can wear this pretty much all year round, apart from the high heat in summer, and it's Intoxicated by Kilian, and this is really an intoxicating fragrance. And let me tell you, this is kind of a warm coffee cardamom fragrance, but the cardamom here is very green and very fresh. Kind of cardamom is like really the real thing. It's almost like you get this green cardamom and you kind of smash it, and that's that smell. That's what you get in here. So that's why I think this is totally fine to wear in warmer months. I have worn this I was once in Lisbon, and it was about 23 degrees or so, and I wore this, and believe me, this blooms in warmer days. It's just a beautiful fragrance with a beautiful trail. It's just really intoxicating, as it says. It's Intoxicated by Kilian. My next one is Encelade by Marc-Antoine Barrois, and this one, it's one of the most interesting fragrances I've smelled so far. It's just, I don't know, it's got this kind of green vegetable rhubarb note in here, together with a very nutty vetiver. The vetiver here, I find it nutty for some reason. It's kind of dry and nutty. I get this nuttiness from it, and then there's a sweetness that comes through, and I think the sweetness is from the tonka bean. It's just to die for. It's really, really amazing. Very sensual fragrance. Very kind of how do I say, well put together kind of thing. I don't know, it's just, there's something about it that is really nice. This in the air smells amazing as well. This is one of those that will get you lots of compliments for sure. It's kind of a green, dusty, nutty, and sweet, sensual as well. Oh, really, it does smell expensive. I mean, it is a bit expensive, but it does smell as well. It smells like an expensive fragrance. If you wear this, people will go, oh, it smells expensive. Yeah, it's En Salade by Marc-Antoine Barrois. Next one, another one of my all-time favorites, and this Angelique Noir by Guerlain. And this is another vanilla fragrance. I mean, love vanilla in fragrances. And this vanilla, it's kind of contrasted with an Angelica note here, which is kind of very green and fresh kind of thing. So you get this freshness from the Angelica, and then a sweetness and warmth from the vanilla. The vanilla here is done in the Guerlain way, which is, to me, the best vanillas ever. It's just wonderful. This is just really good fragrance. I love this. It does lean slightly on the feminine side, I think, but I think it's unisex. It's Angelique Noir by Guerlain. My last one, last but not least, on this video is Initio Rehab. And this is another aromatic, spicy, slightly sweet, and yeah, but it's mainly spicy and aromatic. And there's lots of lavender in here, and this is, it's kind of I don't know, in the skin this is kind of warm and fresh at the same time, but it's such a nice wear experience with this one that I think is perfect for this time, because it's not very strong or powerful or anything like that, and it's not heavy. It's a very kind of airy, light fragrance that I think is really fantastic. It's got good longevity, but it's one of those that's kind of nice and airy. It's not very strong or, you know, heavy and things like that. So I think it's just perfect for this time of year. So it's Initio Parfum Privé, and it's called Rehab. So the name is right there. Right, and that was my last fragrance of this video. I am doing another video on, there will be kind of late spring fragrances soon. There will be more of the fresher ones for, you know, warmer months or warmer weather. But this was kind of the more for colder weather kind of. I mean, you can wear these anytime, whenever you like, wear wherever you like. But yeah, these are more the kind of fresh, warm ones that I think are just fantastic for this time of year, which is early spring. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you have and you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.